First Lady Senator Remi Tinubu, through her Renewed Hope initiative, has donated 1 billion naira to support the fight to end the tuberculosis epidemic in Nigeria by 2030. She made this donation at her investiture as global and national Stop TB champion. Senator Tinubu is advocating for a renewed commitment, especially at the state level, to fight against tuberculosis in Nigeria. The executive director of the Global Stop TB Partnership commended Nigeria's efforts in eradicating TB. Nigeria health authorities are also currently equipping the primary healthcare facilities to ensure comprehensive health services that will reduce the burden of preventable diseases such as TB.
Ending tuberculosis by 2030 is not impossible. With the active support and commitment of everyone seated here today, we can achieve this goal. I dedicate this investiture to Daniel, one of my staff who unfortunately lost his life to the disease, and to others who we have lost just like him by remaining silent. It is on this note that we at the Renewed Hope Initiative have decided to support the fight to end TB by 2030.
Nigeria has a big burden of TB, but that's not a shame and not a problem, because together with the burden comes big ambition and big efforts. There is a big burden of TB, but similarly, you heard, there is big ambition and there are amazing achievements that are taking place. So that's something we need to keep in mind.
We have a vision, and we have a visionary leader who has shown us the way, that it is possible that Nigeria can rise, and its rise can impact the continent of Africa and will be also good for humanity.
For more on this, I'm joined by Senior Special Assistant to the First Lady on Media, Busola Kukoyi. She joins me live from our Abuja studio. Thank you for joining us this hour. The First Lady is quite upbeat about kicking out TB even before 2030. Let's begin with what informed Her Excellency's investiture as a global and national champion in this regard.
Thank you very much, Nifemi, for having me. And way back in 2023, September to be specific, the First Lady had come out to say at the high-level meeting that was held in the United Nations, that was in New York, that indeed there is a TB burden in Nigeria and that she's very willing to see that this is addressed and brought to the barest minimum. I will drill out a little bit of statistics, which was availed us by the Stop TB Nigeria, the organization which has been responsible for coordinating the eradication of TB in Nigeria. It says that the nation loses 1 person every 5 minutes to tuberculosis. Now we have the highest burden in Africa, which gives us about 479,000 people living with tuberculosis, and that's about the 6th globally. This, according to the First Lady, is unacceptable. Every life matters in Nigeria, and since TB is highly preventable, treatable and curable, there's no reason why it shouldn't be on the front burner in terms of eradicating it. And this was one of the things she has said on several occasions, and that she's very passionate about this. I think all of this culminated in her being given that global and national Stop TB champion.
Absolutely. We saw the First Lady also decorating wives of governors as TB champions at their respective states. Precisely, what is their role and job description in this regard?
Yes, Nifemi, these women, the wives of governors, they are the ones that are closest, shall I say, next to the grassroots. So, according to the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, she sees them as partners in ensuring that this burden is brought to the barest minimum in Nigeria. She has charged them to go back to their various states and, of course, galvanize all machinery to improve awareness, to improve accessibility to diagnosis and treatment of tuberculosis. She has also charged them to mobilize resources, not just from government, from non-governmental organizations, from private individuals, to ensure that this is done, to get them the testing kits, to ensure that people come out. And she has said, go to the media, let them know that it is not a death sentence. It is treatable, it is curable, and indeed, they should also see to it that the stigma attached to those who have TB is brought to a stop. Because in any case, TB is not a death sentence. That's what she has charged the wives of governors to do.
We have just one more minute if you can. Everyone is talking about the 1 billion naira donation. Where's the money coming from, and how much impact do you see it have on the fight to end tuberculosis epidemic by 2030 in Nigeria?
Yes. Well, Nifemi, the 1 billion naira is coming from the Renewed Hope Initiative, RHI. Now, the Renewed Hope Initiative has a board of trustees with very well-meaning Nigerians being part of that board. They also have friends of the Renewed Hope Initiative. Now, the funds are coming from the Renewed Hope Initiative, and they're going to be championed or channeled, shall I say, into getting testing kits, treatment kits, and also the drugs that are needed to help stamp out tuberculosis. Now, the impact this fund will have is to ensure that those primary health care centers that the Federal Ministry of Health has said will be equipped will also get some of these equipment so that it gets to the grassroots, the target audience, the people that need it at the grassroots. Of course, the fund is also going to be channeled to awareness to ensure that people get to know more about tuberculosis and don't fall victim of it.
Senior Special Assistant to the First Lady on Media, Busola Kukoyi, good to see you and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Nifemi.